I can't believe this, man. For fuck's sake, bruv. Yagisan's got past. Okay, so is it going to be raining or what?
Hopefully it's raining. Hopefully.
No, hopefully not.
Oh, yesterday was raining.
Oh my fucking days, it's raining in the race.
Yes. Yes.
What is good, my people? It's the man Low Key back with a F1 2020 league racing video. It's been a long time. I've been away doing university, dissertation, assignments, you know the shebang. But I am now back, and firstly, I'd like to thank all the people that have been keeping up to date with my live streams. Obviously, I've not been releasing any highlighted videos, but I have still been live streaming. So I appreciate all the people that have been tuning into those, and also all my new subscribers. Also, if you're new here now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be bringing a lot more F1 2020 and F1 2021 content to you guys, obviously on that release date. That will be the 13th of July. So I'll most definitely be here to bring you guys some of the new gaming content. But until then, I've got a race for you right here. This was the Hungarian Grand Prix. This was a few months ago. Obviously, as you can tell by the title, Heartbreak in Hungary. We'll get to how it was heartbreaking later on in the video. But starting off with qualifying now, you can see it's going to be a wet race. So qualifying suddenly more important in Hungary, especially as generally in Hungary, you actually want to start on the medium tyres, as the soft tyres are almost useless. But obviously, as we're going to be starting the race in wet conditions, it becomes way more important to do a quick lap rather than going for a better set of tyres that would keep you in a good position for the start of the race. So you can see now going out on the soft tyres, obviously you're going to try and get a banker run on the board.
The wet go 7. In wet conditions, you can.
So coming to the end of the first sector here, coming up the hill, very tricky left-hander. As you can see, first sector 26 through, so it's pretty decent. Using all the track on the right there. And you can see we're going to get very out of shape just at the end. And instead of continuing the lap, I actually choose to abort the lap. Which does mean that I'm going to be in a bit of a tricky situation for the rest of qualifying, because Hungary is one of those tracks where track position is vital. So it's very similar to tracks like Singapore, almost like Monaco, because the back straight is not very long, and because of the high downforce that cars generally run because of the middle sector here, it is very hard to overtake. Also, keeping in mind that the race is going to be wet, qualifying and getting a good banker was very important, but on this occasion that was not the case. So I actually decided to continue around the track and go for another lap on these soft tyres, obviously knowing that I won't have to start on them, and I fueled up just enough to get 2 laps in. So I backed off and continued on my way. So coming to the end of the first sector, again at the top of the hill, the very fast left-hander, you see how easy it is to invalidate the lap. That is another lap invalid here in qualifying with only 12 minutes remaining. Oh, Jesus Christ, I just bottled 2 laps. So as you can see now, 8 minutes left on the board in quali. Currently still dead last in P15. You can see that in the top left, having not set a lap time. At the moment, it's becoming, the pressure's really mounting up. It's becoming more and more important to just get a banker, any type of lap on the board, any type of competitive lap. You can see the lap in the top right is nowhere near competitive. You'd be looking for something in the 1:13s. So coming towards the end of the first sector, we're really going to try and be aggressive and throw it in. And as you can see, once again, that is another lap time invalidated here in Hungary. Only 7 minutes remaining. So rather than coming into the pits and using my final set of soft tyres, I once again have to slow down, cool the tyre temps, make sure to save enough fuel in ERS and go again. So here we are on our 4th attempt here in qualifying, coming through the first sector. Obviously the top right, that delta you see there is still the benchmark from the first lap we set, which was a 26.3 first sector. We're still down on that, and coming through turn 4 once again. Alright, what the fuck is, oh, what is happening here, man? This is exactly the same shit as Abu Dhabi, bro.
What has happened, man?
I've invalidated all my laps.
Yeah, I saw.
Right.
Unlucky.
Oh, Fucking hell, not this bullshit
Okay, guys.
again, man.
Okay, guys, don't worry. Just go to pit, and we will wait until like 2 minutes.
So you could hear the frustration, and obviously you heard me make reference to Abu Dhabi. The reason why they were so similar is because Abu Dhabi is also one of my favorite tracks. Hungary is also one of my favorite tracks, as well as Abu Dhabi. And if you haven't watched that video to see how qualifying went, it will be on my channel somewhere. I think it was the race before this. How to not qualify on this game, and I was hoping to not have a repeat of that with 5 minutes to go around the track where I believed I had the pace to be near the front row. With I think the current pole time being a 13.0. Those are the times that I was doing in practice. So the fact that I hadn't actually got a lap on the board was very, very frustrating. And it also meant that for the final run, because now I've only got one set of soft tyres left, the pressure would be massive because I'm currently still dead last and without a lap time on the board. And obviously with the race forecast to be in light rain conditions, it means that if you are starting at the back, you're going to have a very, very tough time making places during the race. So we'll move on to the last lap in qualifying.
Okay, guys, GL.
So now heading into the final run, you can see in the top right, 1 minute and 30 seconds left. You see in the top left P16, so that's dead last. I'm going to leave you guys to watch the lap and see how it goes, and I'll be back at the end.
Nice low-key purple third sector. Unfortunately, Villa, yeah. But low-key, really good lap. Just 2 thousandths behind Tam, but never mind. Excellent third
what's
sector.
Pole position?
Pole position 12.8 and Brett did 12.9.
Oh, I could have gone lower than a 30. That lap was so cautious. Because I was fucking up on my other laps. It's what happens. Like at least I'm in P6. It's alright.
Yeah, really good the third row, so don't worry, man. And as I said, perfect third sector.
Whew. So it was a very, very close end to qualifying. Yeah, the first sector was so cautious. I'm not sure if you can tell in that uphill left-hander where I was invalidating, I left a lot of margin there because I really just needed to get a lap time on the board. So the first sector was quite cautious. The start of the middle sector also was very, very cautious. But once I got into the final sector, I knew that I could push the car to the limits. And obviously, it managed to pay off doing the purple final sector, obviously the fastest of the session. And that being enough to get me up into P6 just about. So a good starting position for the race, obviously, which is going to be held in the wet. So if you like what you've seen up until now, don't forget to hit the like button. Also subscribe if you're new. There is a long way to go in this video and a lot to see. Obviously, you may remember the start of the video. I was quite unhappy, but like I said, we'll get to that very, very soon. But now onto the start of this race here in Hungary. There was more than, I feel like there's even more than 2 tenths around the whole lap. Let me look at my sectors.
Yeah, but the third I think you've got the fastest.
26 to 20.9 final sector. Yeah, it was quite close with the others.
Right.
9-8-8. Yeah, I had to send it in the final sector because I knew I'd lost so much time. So yeah, I did
Yeah,
a
but
20.9.
good lap as well. Good lap. Good lap.
Yeah.
Good lap.
All right, I'll take it. 34 laps in.
Okay. But you can save it. Don't worry.
So starting the formation lap here, just a few things to look out for in this race. So obviously starting on the intermediate tyres. These aren't tyres that last very long. They're kind of similar to the soft tyres, but just for wet conditions. So strategy is quite important, and it's also quite tricky between stopping for a new set of inters or going up until it dries up, because obviously the weather forecast did show a patch of dry weather at the end of the race. So it was very, very important to look out for that as we're going to line up to the grid and get underway for what I believe was round 7 of this ERO season. So the championship at this point, I'm not too sure. I can't remember what it was. For the next race, I'll have the standings up for you guys to make reference to. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture the standings after every single week, and I believe Hungary was one of them. So that will be back for the next race. But yeah, so I'll leave you guys to watch the start, and I'll be back very, very soon.
Remember, guys, during wet conditions, you don't have to go to the pits. You can go without any stop.
Yeah.
In wet conditions, like Noven did. So good luck, wish you all the best.
Wish me luck.
All right, good luck, Rosie.
Good
luck, Chips.
All right, come on.
The Rain Master, come on again.
Hopefully no one slams into anybody.
Same here.
Okay, we're low on fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel.
I'm alright.
Guys, Brett's got drive-through penalty for jump start.
Aha!
Yeah. Oh my. Poor him. Rocky P2, accent.
So an absolutely perfect start to the race there. You can see now up into P2. To be fair, I didn't expect it. Obviously, I think this is probably this is by far my best start in the wet. I got a very, very good getaway, and after short shifting up into 2 and 3, the car just took off really. Obviously, with Bread jumping the start in P2, it helped out in regards to Tam Tam, because I think he probably had the best or the second best start amongst all of the guys in the top 6. So it would have been close between myself and him. But with Bread jumping the start and kind of slowing in the middle of the track and me taking the inside line, it really, really did help. And as you can see now, coming towards the end of lap 1, we are actually in second place ahead of the championship leader Julian and behind Gwil. So very, very good position now for the rest of the race.
How is Chips doing?
He's doing nice. P2.
Yeah.
So moving on to lap 8 now, you will see the gap in the top left between myself and Gwil has actually grown a bit to just around 3 seconds. I've still managed to maintain second position, obviously remembering how difficult it actually is to overtake. So Julian managing to follow quite closely, but behind that, it seemed like the pack was getting a little bit stretched out, which was really a very good sign at this point and showed that I did have some type of pace. But Gwil out in front was really pushing. So I was thinking about whether he was thinking about a 2-stop onto intermediates before the end of the race, because obviously it's supposed to get dry, and these intermediate tires, as I mentioned, they really do not last very long. So at the rate he was going, I was thinking about whether he might need to make that extra stop or not.
Does anyone Chips has warnings in there?
I think he doesn't.
Rain has stopped.
Yep.
Are you watching the official stream or Tupper?
Sure.
Approaching the pit window,
Uh,
we'll be on the hards.
Watch it, and when Grill pits here, tell me what tires he goes on to.
Yeah, sure, don't worry. But as I told you, mediums can last 15 laps.
Okay, cool.
So coming into lap 15 here, you can see obviously the rain stopped on lap 11, yet the track is still visibly wet. So at this point, you're getting into very uncomfortable territory because the intermediate tires are starting to fall off, losing a lot of grip and a lot of pace. And when you get to that point, it does become really uncomfortable driving the car. You just don't have that same confidence, especially on the rear. So coming into the final sector, for example, very easy to make mistakes. And as you watch the top left, the gap at 6.9 seconds, you can now see that Guil has jumped into the pits.
Inters look the best tire for now.
Wait, Grill's in the pit.
Will.
Yes,
pit.
he isn't. He is, yeah.
What tires?
I can see. I'm writing them to show tires. But maybe from Brett's stream.
He's on the new Inters.
Inters.
Yes, indeed. Oh my. Yeah, because lap 17-18 is pit window for Inters. Yeah, that's right.
So as you heard there, Guil, the race leader, has picked for a new set of intermediates, which was a very, very massive point in this race, as although he'd be 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster than the train of cars that you can see. Well, it's not really a train anymore. The gaps, to be fair, the gaps are still quite consistent. But Julian managing to hang on to my rear wing. Besides that, Tam Tam and Yagijan are starting to fall back a bit more. So at this point, it's looking like a 2-horse race because we are expecting the track to dry up within the next few laps. And obviously with Guil putting on the new set of inters while we are all out here struggling, as you see, the bottom right, the yellow icon has now popped up to show me that the intermediates are not in very, very good shape. Now the race has been blown wide open, but I'm currently in the lead here with 18 laps or so remaining.
I don't think these conditions will improve, like to slicks.
You don't think so? It might not, you know, it's taking so I'm staying out though, I'm not pitting.
Okay, good. Jill is gaining like second per lap.
Should I pit for Inters?
Jill. Yeah, Jill pitted for
Should I pit for Inters?
I don't know, to be honest, but maybe.
So you can hear a lot of confusion going on at the moment. So obviously Guil's pitted onto Inters, but because at some point this track is going to dry up, he is going to have to make another stop onto the dry tyres. But at this point he was going more than a second a lap faster than us, so he would catch us at some point. It was just, as you can see him popping up there with the fastest lap at the top of the screen, it was just a case of when the track was going to dry up because it was taking so long. Remember the lap, the rain stopped, sorry, on lap 11. It's now lap 20 and the track is still damp, and my tires are starting to wear more and more each lap. So we're kind of coming to a point where it's either you pit for Inters and maybe only be on them for about 3 or 4 laps but be about 3 seconds a lap quicker, or stay out for as long as possible and just try and bear the conditions up until the track is dry enough. But obviously, like I said, with these tyres getting more and more worn, it is not feeling very good to be out here on the track. So big decisions are going to need to be made within the next few laps.
Like no puncture territory yet.
Is it only Grill that pit?
By Tobias' opinion, pitting is the best thing now.
What, for Inters?
Yes. apart from Loki, because he will be behind Luke.
Alright, let's talk now. My tires are going.
Be careful. The tyres have deteriorated significantly at this point.
So you would have seen that at the top of the hill, turn 4 and turn 5, I got a little bit out of shape, and Julian actually looked to make a move, just showing how much my tyres were dying at this point. Only 14 laps remaining, but obviously the transition to dries is definitely coming. It's just about finding when it is and not making that mistake. You can hear all the communications going on between my engineer, really trying to find out who's doing what at the moment, because obviously Grill on the intermediate tyres, he's very, very close to us. I think he's probably within about 10 seconds now. He'd be on the end, on the back of us within only a couple of laps. So coming on to lap 22 now.
Watch out the tire wear, guys.
Mike is bidding for the mediums.
Yes, he's pitting. Medium tires, yeah. Definitely mediums. Yeah. I will look after on his times. And okay, all 5 guys are pitting for slicks. Guys,
double stack.
Oh,
Not this lap.
don't know, but
A few moments later.
nah, he's losing. He's losing.
MFD, I'm pitting.
Yeah, new MFD.
Okay, guys, pit for mediums, definitely, and remember downforce less, like 5 or 6.
Yes.
And the differential will let then you can try 50 or okay, you can stay.
So coming into the pits on lap 22, this is a massive roll of the dice. As you can see, the tyres are completely finished. So it was either stay out and really struggle for another lap or so, or roll the dice and come in for the dry tyres. You can see we're about to fit a new set of the mediums, and we are released in front of Maxwell. So this is a massive point in this race. So I'm going to leave you guys to see what happens as we come out of the pits.
That was our last stop. No more
I would say like
pit stops.
pretty same. Yeah.
No, it's not. Dries.
It's feeling bad.
It's not slicks, man.
Nah.
Just wait.
Yeah. Try to hit them up as much as possible.
So immediately going through turn 1, I noticed straight away that the track just wasn't dry enough. You can see, looking at it, it looks dry, but there was just no grip. You can see we're really struggling to get through the middle sector. Maxwell, who had actually just pitted for a new set of intermediates, you saw him coming to the pits as we were exiting. He is about to overtake me and really show how much quicker those inters are compared to the dry tyres at this point in the race. So it was a massive strategy fail here on lap 23, and we're going to see how things run through as we come towards the end of the lap.
This in corners you have to take care.
I can't believe this, man. For fuck's sake, bruv. Yagizan's
Yeah,
got
he's
past.
spitting.
That's P6. You've moved up into P6.
Oh man, so you heard it there. Oh, pitting lap 22 was the worst thing to do. As you can see, Yagijan, who was about 3 seconds behind me once I pit, has now come out 2 seconds ahead of me. He's also stopped for the medium tyres. You can still see we're struggling to get around the track as it looks dry, but it's still a little bit damp, and just enough that those guys that are still on the intermediates are actually quicker by maybe 2 seconds per lap. So we'll move on now to the end of lap 24.
Now push, guys.
Okay, now I can feel the lead a little bit.
They're well out. He's well down the fucking track, man. Fuck's sake, man.
And that was effectively all she wrote. That was going to be the end of my race. You can see here on the last lap, I managed to catch up to Tam Tam and had a little look up the inside. But overtaking around this track is nearly impossible. So from when I'd lost all 4 positions under the pit stop, because remember, we were leading the race. We were actually leading the race. We were ahead of Julian, and we had a massive chance to take our first victory in ERO. And yeah, well, I guess Jeff, you don't listen to Jeff, and one thing I can say is I learned a lot from this race, and it's something that I managed to carry over into future races. You'll see that in the next video I'm going to upload, and that'll be the last video from F1 2020 before the new game comes out, I think on the 13th of July. So that one is one that you most definitely don't want to miss. That was the Spanish Grand Prix, but we'll put everything we learned from this race into that race. You can still see we're behind Tam Tam. We really did have the pace this weekend to at least be on the podium, but coming around the final corner, it's going to be P5. As you see, Julian wins the race and does the fastest lap on the last lap. It's going to be P5 and a very disappointing end to what was a very promising race.
I kept Max from behind me all the...
Although we did start in P6 and actually managed to gain a place overall, as you can imagine, leading the race for that long and finishing off the podium was pretty heartbreaking at the time. I really was speechless to what had just transpired. And yeah, I'm sure you could imagine. But like I said, going on forward into the other races in the season, or the next races in the season, it was good to make sure that we just take the lessons from this. And when Jeff says pit, don't pit, Jeff is the engineer, not the engineer in the party, but the actual in-game engineer. Obviously, he told me to box for the dry tyres on lap 22, when really I knew that wasn't the right thing to do. As you heard me only a few callers earlier saying not this lap. I was referring to the track is not dry enough for dry tyres, yet for some reason, only God knows why, I dived into the pits. But that is just part of the pressures of league racing. Making decisions in split seconds is really all it takes between the P1 and the P5. So yeah, that was all from the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and let me know. It helps me. It does also encourage me to continue to release these videos. And if you're new here and you enjoy watching F1 content, hit the subscribe button. And like I said, I'll be back dropping the Spanish Grand Prix at some point within the next week. Until then, hope you have a great day and peace.
Wow, man.
Wow.
How I've ended up off the podium, I have no idea.